It's Patrice. I am on my way to the store as usual. I haven't made a video on this playlist for a while because I didn't want to. I just did not want to. I didn't I've been doing so many different things. I didn't want to make time for another thing. So I just let this fall by the wayside for a time. And I'm very I used to be very regimented. Everything had to be so perfect and ordered, and to a point of like, it doesn't matter if I'm exhausted, it doesn't matter, if I'm just not feeling it, or whatever. None of that mattered. I had to keep the order, I had to keep the pace that I set originally. So none of those things matter, and I'm just not there anymore. And I'm happy. I'm like, I miss I miss different people. I don't even know if some people are still here, like my anyway, I'm not gonna name names, but because I'm like, oh, they might be mad at me. But whatever. So oh my gosh, so many different things have been going on. So I'm taking all these different classes. I'm absolutely nuts, okay? I love learning, right? And that's always been a thing for me. But I'm at a maniac pace at the moment, but I love it and I'm having a good time. And I'm still well rested. I just, like I said, like this fell by the wayside because of where I am at the moment. And so the classes that I'm taking, a lot of them have to do with food. 1, 2, 3 of them that I can think of right off have to do with food, and like cultured foods, and just like nutrition and all that. And then 2 has to do with guns and like marksmanship, skill, and all that. And what's the other one? Oh, one has to do with raising supernatural children. I'm having that's a subject that's dear to my heart, because I do things with my children all the time that just go along with like our faith and how our relationships go. So it's really nice, like for it, like a little thing that isn't even necessarily like faith related, I guess, but I mean it is. But anyway, my son, my 6-year-old, he was like, mommy, he said let's do something. I don't know what he said, but I thought he said let's play a game. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll play with you. No, it wasn't even a game, but he wasn't even saying let's play, but I thought he was saying let's play. And so I said, yeah, I'll play with you. Let's play the game. Or let's play a game. And he was like, oh, you want to play a game? I said, yeah, I thought you did too. But, and so he was like, oh, well, yeah, we could play. And I said, all right, well, I was like, oh, how about we play? And he said, yeah, let's play that. And I was like, son, I didn't say it yet. And he was like, the matching game, let's play that. And I was like, how did you know I was talking about that? And he just knew. We hadn't played in I don't know how long. And so we did. It was fun. But I have a lot of moments like that where my children are just tuned in. I don't have to say very much for them to totally understand and and get what's not being said. And it's not even a read between the lines thing. It's just they just know where I'm going, and and so it's pretty cool. So I was when I came across this supernatural kids thing, I was like, oh yeah, let me look at that. And so I have a course for that too. Gosh, I'm like really just kind of all over the place. And then my husband and I We keep traveling. Like, I'm saying it like it's like, oh God, it's so horrible. Like, no, that's not what I mean. But we just keep traveling. We keep going places, and it's fun, and we might be going somewhere else for a month or two. But we're enjoying life, and with moving around a lot, for me, travel can be stressful. I'm learning to not allow myself to go like so far with the stress over something that's supposed to be fun, but because I don't know, men men have the luxury of, like, it's like, oh yes, we're going away, and I don't know what they do from that point on, whereas I know from my side, I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about different ones eat this, that, and the other. I'm thinking about, if we're on the road, I'm thinking about snacks to take on the road so that we don't have to do a bunch of stops. I'm thinking about, okay, this one needs to pack this, and this, and I need to just go behind the girls and make sure, they got everything that they need, and do they have enough of this, or do they need that? Do we have the ability to get this when we get there, or should I bring it along? I'm thinking of all these million, things. And then there's the weather, and like dressing for the weather and not packing too much. I'm good about that. And then if we're getting on the plane, got to make sure, like, if we're going to have a carry-on, you got to make sure you're within the guidelines. And, it's so many different things that I have in my head, and that I have to, like, kind of work out. And so I have an ongoing list, like a travel checklist of, okay, you have, like, underwear, whatever. And so, even with, the traveling thing, it can be pretty stressful at times, trying to manage stuff for not just myself, but others as well. And, I don't know what everybody else is doing. They probably are like, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I need to learn and glean from them. So, so I'm doing that. And then I have, I don't know, stuff with, me and my husband are like changing in a really, really good way, and I'm having to face my issues more and more with regards to that, because it's kind of like, what do you want? What do you really want here? Because it can't just be, you just love me like this. It can't just be that, and that's terrible, man. That is so terrible. And then having conversations with my oldest living sister, because I wouldn't be speaking to my oldest deceased sister anyway. Talking to my sister, she's been really like touching my heart. She's been talking a lot about different things, about how much our dad loved me, and how much, like, he raved about me to anybody that would listen, and how they all loved me, and including like my brother, and how my brother didn't think of me or any of us as anything less than his for real siblings. So my dad met his mom, and he was already, born and all that. He was like 2, 3, and when they married, and my father ended up adopting him, so he does have my maiden name and everything. And I've never seen my brother as anything but my brother, and he's deceased as well. But it was good to hear my sister talking about how he loved me, and because I tend to take for granted, like, I hear people when they say I love you, and like, I'm ready to cry a little bit now, look, like, because I'm getting it now. When people say they love me, I'm like, oh shoot, you do, and because it would be like, oh, I love you too. And I do truly I love people. I'm not one of those people, and I'm not knocking people who are like this, but there are people who are like, I don't like people. I don't, whatever. But I'm one of those, I love people. Like, generally and genuinely, I love people. And, but to see, like, that they love me back, it's like, whoa, okay. So, yeah. It's overwhelming. and some of it I don't know what to do with, because I'm accustomed to I'm growing less accustomed to it, I'll say that. But I was not accustomed to genuine love. I was accustomed to the conditional love, like very conditional. Like, I have to make you happy and, do what you would want and, all that. And then I got your love. And okay, fine. I'll work for it. I'm all right with that. But to just have it just because, and I haven't done anything for you, or whatever, it's like, what? And so I'm relating to even God in a much more intimate and different and delightful way than ever before, because I just didn't understand like a father's love and all that kind of stuff, not directed at me like that. Like, I did have my grandfather though, and I have some examples, but it's like none of them could take the place of my real biological father, So although I have had substitutes and some really good ones, and I still do, it's like, they just couldn't take the place of my father. And so, but I'm learning now and really taking in the fact that all the times that my father did tell me that he loved me and I didn't believe him, it wasn't because he didn't. It was because I had taken in everything that my mother was telling me, about him, and not believing him when he came, because she had already conditioned me, to believe what she wanted me to believe, so that I could just be dependent on her and, and want her and, all that. And so I really feel sorry for my mother with that, because there's always been space for her. There's always been space for her and him. There wouldn't have been I call my father Butch. I've never really called him daddy or dad. So but there could have been ample space for her and for Butch, but she couldn't see that. So she had to do what she thought she had to do, and make me distrust him, and and I didn't even like him a lot of the time, and I just didn't trust him. I thought he was the worst person ever. And I'm now learning about how that man like cried and fought and so much more for me, but she wasn't having it. My mother wasn't, and he didn't know how to deal with what my mother brought, so it was a mess. And so we didn't have anything much while he was here, and that saddens me greatly. And I've had moments of I had one person in my life kind of stalking me a little bit, and to talk to me about whatever, including my mother. And I was ignoring the person for a long time. Then after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to answer them. And I said a lot of things, and I was very respectful and all, but I was just like, I don't just accept, random video chats from people, first of all. And then the first time you came to me and you told me, how I needed to forgive and all this stuff, I listened to you and everything, but you not once asked any pertinent questions that would have shed any light on anything. It was just about you getting me back into place, and I'm not there anymore, and I'm not I'm not going for that. And I was like, I just let the person know. I was like, going forward, if you want to have conversations with me about me, and that's fine, but my mother is off the table. You don't have that. Like, this is a person that ain't worked through their own stuff in their own life, in many different facets of their own life. When you have not been in that boxing ring, so to speak, and you ain't all bloody, you ain't all bruised, you ain't having the CPTSD, you ain't dealing with head on like all the issues that some of which you caused and all that, you can't talk to me. You can't talk to me and tell me about what I'm doing when you ain't never done it yourself. No, thank you. I hear you, and if there's some wisdom in there, because you could get wisdom. I mean, God God let a donkey speak. So like, you know, you could get wisdom from places. So I have enough discernment where I can hear wisdom when wisdom is coming to the forefront, but I'm no longer ignoring the bull crap either. Okay. So that's where I am. And I let the person know that. And and it was funny. Well, it's not like haha funny, but what's funny is I shared it with one of my dads, and my dad said, if this person does not understand what you have written here, then like, I don't know what to say. He was like, they would need help to misunderstand you. And I was like, well, well, if what I'm believing about this person's character and personality and all that to be true, if that is so, they're going to misunderstand me, and they're going to get that help you're speaking of to do so. And they did. Like completely. They like ghosted, you know, for a few days, and then they came back with this whole thing that was just like, I was like, okay. And rather than go on and explain myself, because I know now I don't have to, like, you're intent on misunderstanding me, so guess what, have at it, have fun with that, because I'm gonna be over here doing what I gotta do for myself. So that's that. And I love the person, and I told the person too, I was like, I love you, bye. You know. So that's that. But I'm learning so many things, and I'm so grateful. Oh my God, I'm so grateful that I did not marry a person that is like my mother. And I'm glad that as I grow and I change and I set different boundaries, even within my marriage, my husband is obviously not toxic, because he's like, okay. Oh my God, like, that alone, God, is such a like load off, because so many people unwittingly marry people who are like the you know, toxic, you know, person they grew up with, you know, whether it's a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, whatever. And they just don't know better. That's all they know, and they end up with somebody that's just like that. And I'm so grateful that I didn't, you know. And that as I grow and change, my husband does too. He'll tell you that he does. He's like, I haven't changed. You the one changing. I'm like, boy, please, you changed too. Because this wouldn't work if you didn't. So yeah. Oh God. There's so much. I have so many different things that I want to talk about. But and I will in time. But for now, that is all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Well.